Here we are. Welcome to bleh. Welcome to today's session of Ask Lucca Live, coming to you via Facebook Live on Saturday, April the 18th. I'm here a couple minutes early just so that everybody can arrive. I think it sometimes takes us a little bit of time to find one another on here, so I'm giving us a little time to do that. Hi, Anne. I won't be able to say hi to everybody as you arrive because I think there'll probably be quite a big group, but it's wonderful to have everybody here, and I do see your names coming up on the bottom of my screen. Hi, Karen. I'm still at the stage where I can say hello. And anybody who gave me your questions, they're all in the order in which I received them. And if I don't get to all of them today, then I just move them to the top of the roster for next week. So I think I have one at the top this week that came from last week, and that one's from Scotland. So we've got people joining us today from all over the world. I think Norway, Scotland, Argentina. There's a few places. So I'm looking forward to having everybody on board. If you know of anybody who's going to miss this today, you can let them know that the recording will be available, and I'll try and post it across to the link across to Instagram as well, and put it on my website so that people can take a look at the latest one. So that's good. Hi, Barb. How are we doing for time? I've got a clock on the side here, and I've got my questions right over here. So you'll see me looking around as we go through the session today. It is, we got 3 more minutes. So this is great. Adina's here too. Hi. I have a little box down there. Hi, Janet. So now we have the Yukon on board, which is great. It's really wonderful when I can see all of you joining the group, and then I can see you joining the session. And I know where you're all coming from, and it's like a club. It's so wonderful. I'm replying to Anne. So and you guys can kind of talk to one another in the chat window as well, which is really neat. I like doing this. This is wonderful, and we have a nice sunny day here today. I don't know what the weather's like where you guys are, but. They were threatening rain yesterday, and we did get it, which is wonderful. So 2 more minutes, and then we're good to go. I can feel the energy building today. There's lots to come through, and I have spiders that walk around in my house who pass me messages, which sounds really bizarre, but it seems that's how it's working. Hi, Jenny. And the spiders were telling me that there's intergalactic information to come through today. So that's interesting. I always like it when they come through. And we've only got half an hour. So I hope that time is like doing this and it's really elastic today. So 10 people on board right now, which is great. 11 now. So, one last minute question coming through, and I don't think we'll be able to. Hi, Rainey. That's coming through from London. It's late in the evening in London, so thanks for coming and joining us before you go to bed. Okay, it is just about 1:30, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. What I say to everybody, so I'll for those of you who weren't here when I introduced this first off, this is Ask Lucca Live, and I'm Lucca Hallex, Power Sorcerer. I make my living doing this and enjoy it very much. This is one of my absolute favorite things to do. And you can get private sessions with me as well if you like. And I also have, for the duration of this COVID virus, I have 15-minute, I'm calling them pings because it makes me smile. $30 for 15 minutes for a ping, if you just have a quick question that you want to ask me, and that keeps it affordable for everybody. So there's Fiona. Hi, Fiona. So just so that you know, your gut feel about what's right for you is more important than anything anybody can tell you, and that includes me. Because even though I'm psychic, I'm also reading this information through my energy field and my distractions and hopes and fears and all the rest of that. So if I tell you anything that doesn't feel right, doesn't sit completely right with you, then put it in what I call the holding tank and wait until you get some validation for it. And sometimes, hi Iris, sometimes the information that comes through won't make sense to you until later on. So I've had people call me back, 3 months later and say, do you remember when you said so-and-so? Well, now I know what it means. Of course, I don't usually remember what I said, but it's nice to get the validation that sometimes it makes sense much later. So that's really great. So you will notice me looking off out the window and closing my eyes periodically, and that's because the information comes through in packets. Hi, Rebecca. And that just like information comes through the internet in packets. And so I go and get something, and then I come back and I talk to you about it, and then I go and get something else. If I'm asking you a personal question and you've asked about something that's going on in a relationship between you and someone else, then I may ask you for their first name so that I can make sure that I've got the right person, and we can connect properly. Any of you whose questions we don't get to this week, I'll put them at the top of the roster for next week, so you know that. You'll also see me doing this and this, little nods and head shakes, and that's because I use my body like a pendulum. And so I'm asking internal questions just to get clarification before I say something. So it's not just that I have a weird twitch, although maybe I have that too. So I'm just going to close my eyes for a moment here and connect in and find the energy to start. So I always set my intention at the beginning of a session that the information that comes through, hi Crystal, is going to be for everyone's highest good, including mine, and including all the people who may watch this afterwards. So we are picking up, because it goes through time and space, we are picking up information and expressing things in a way that will be relevant for people who watch later as well, because it's all in the present moment. It's all concurrent. It's hard to describe, but I know that that's how it works. So I'm just going to take a peek at my question. The first question comes from Scotland. And the question is, I'm interested in hearing about the vibrational molecular structure of coronavirus. Would it function any differently to individuals who resonate more with a fifth and multidimensional way of being? So it's a hard question to phrase, and I understand that. But let's see what we get about the molecular structure of the virus. Okay, so I've got a nod saying yes, we can ask that question. Molecular structure of the virus. So we get I get this waving in front of my third eye. So they're trying to clear things for me at the moment so that this can come through. Because when I bring through intergalactic information, I need to be in a slightly different energetic space to find it. Yeah, so they're asking me to come back to that question closer to the end, because there's a few other things that they're going to say that will ease us into that. So I will come back to it, and if I don't, please remind me. All right, my second question here, what will it look like around the borders opening up? Because that's from our person in Argentina who wants to know when she'll be able to travel again. And she's also saying that Argentina is completely shut down right now, no in and out. And they're focusing on something that she's calling community pods, which is, she describes it as processing the fear, doing a lot of release, astral traveling. There's a bunch of things that are going on energetically. So borders opening up. They will open up. Well, of course they'll open up eventually, but not as quickly as you might prefer. So they're saying settle in for the time being and make sure that you're really enjoying your time there, because it's not an accident that you happen to be in Argentina when this started and not here in Canada when this started. So that's they're saying make the best of this, because it is for the best for you that you are where you are right now. And they're saying that there's been some concerns about money as you go through this time. And what I get is that there's someone who will come and help you out with that. They're calling the person a benefactor. So I don't know in what the relationship is with that. I don't know as related to what. They're not telling me that part, but they're saying to me the word benefactor, and they're saying that that's going to help you out financially. So always when we're in the right place at the right time, doing what we're supposed to be doing, that's in alignment with our purpose, where we'll be taken care of. So hi Jan. So that's an important one. So that's for Argentina. Here's another one with employees and colleagues. This person's trying to figure out who and how to motivate, or she's asking, should I just let them be right now with what's going on? So let me find that. Okay, yes, we can ask that. Different people need to be helped in different ways. This is not an official thing that you're going to be doing with people. It's a you'll know it as it comes up thing, and it's coming about just by you being who you are and operating the way you do in the world. So they're encouraging you to be transparent about how you're feeling and what's occurring to you. So don't censor yourself is what they're saying. Don't assume that it might be too out there, too weird. If it occurs to you when you're with the person, then be transparent with it and share it with the person. And I've got yawns coming up as I say that. So it usually yawns for me mean that there's some kind of resistance going on. So they're saying the really important part for you here with employees and colleagues is to not figure out how to motivate them, but to listen to your intuition around it as it comes through and respond in the moment with it accordingly. So that's a big shout out for your intuition and going with it and knowing that it always comes through at the right time with the right information. Okay, our next question. This one is from North Vancouver. Do you think people will be interested in haiku? Because Anne does haiku. She's a haiku, a master of haiku. And how best should I get it out there? I'm doing a workshop at a mindfulness conference. I just finished a book and have been putting a weekly newsletter out for over a year. I have a ton of ideas. There's big reinforcement for your ideas. They're saying go wild with your ideas. Explore with them. Now's the time. Right now is the time for experimenting, and for taking this out into the world. Whatever we have to offer there, and this is one of the reasons I'm doing what I'm doing right now. I'm doing what I love and I'm getting it out there. So I feel good because I'm doing what I love to do best. So they're saying exactly the same thing for you, Anne, that you should be doing what you do best. Really, really enjoy what you're doing and get it out there, because it's a vibrational thing. It's resonance. People who resonate with what you write will send you their energy through their attention and through reading it. And then when you get that attention and that energy, it's going to help you to write the next haikus. So this is it's an interactive process. This is a relationship between you and the reader. So they are encouraging you, have fun, play, experiment, and get what you're doing out there in whatever ways, creative ways that you have available to you. The conference, by the way, is going to be good for you, but speak up. Make sure that people know that you're there while you're there. Don't hide off in a corner somewhere, because your light should be shining. We want to keep you bright and shiny. Okay, So next one, this is here in Vancouver. Divinity. I've been experiencing pain on the left chest area. Came about when I was reflecting on a difficult time with my father. Done some release around it, but the pain is still there. Any guidance? So let's see what we've got around this. Yes. Not all of this is yours. Part of it, you were releasing some stuff around your father, but your father had things to release, and you're picking up some of the things that he needs to release, but you can't really, can you? I was going to say you can't really release them for him, but they're telling me that you can release them for him. If you set your intention that that's what you're doing. So if you believe that it's yours that you're trying to release, you're not going to get anywhere with it because it isn't yours. So you want to be very clear that you are doing this on behalf of someone else as a service, and pull in all your guides and helpers and, angelic realm, whoever it is that you tune into for help, pull them all in and pull in the same for your father, so that you've got a whole team working with you as you release this. This is hereditary, ancestral stuff that wasn't just his either, which is part of why he behaved in the way that he did. So, so I learned something new every day. I didn't know that you could, that you didn't have to only return to sender, that you can actually siphon it off, put it in a basket, and then heal it as as a service to them. So have fun with it, because this is not meant to be an onerous, horrible process, but I think that you will notice that the pain will reduce significantly after you do this, and what's left over is your piece to let go of in your own way. Okay, Jenny wanted to know why a particular song is stuck in her head for nearly a week now. Okay, so you pick things up on an auditory level. So this is so they talk to you. So they talk to you through songs. So you should pay attention to which songs get stuck in your head. And you might even want to invite them. You might want to, when you sit down to do your quiet time meditation, however it is that you connect in with your intuition, walking, doing whatever practice that you do on a regular basis, see if there's a soundtrack that goes with it. And they're saying it isn't always a song, because it could be sound. So sometimes it's bird songs, sometimes it's noise out the window, but whatever it is, you have an auditory connection. And I was going to say, I don't know if it's always there. They're saying to me, it comes and goes. You are intuitive on several different levels, and auditory is one of the ones that you haven't been as aware of as a means of your guidance connecting with you. So again, the message is go with it and have fun. Sing the song and see what it feels like as you sing it. And play around with the lyrics. Maybe there's something that they're saying maybe there's something you would change about the song. And if there is, then go for it and change it and see how it feels then. So Jenny's smiling about this. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, Barb said, what will be the best to focus on in the next week or two? So it's quite a general question. And this may have application to more of you who are listening today than just Barb. Barb, they're saying, I happen to know that Barb is a sprouting chef, and so she's a sprouting chef. Her business is sprouting chefs, and you like to get your hands in the dirt. They're saying, do what you love to do. So get your hands in the dirt. That's going to be your best focus, and share your process. So it goes back to what I was saying earlier about doing what we absolutely love to do and sharing it. Be transparent with it and get it out there in the world, because the people who need to experience what you are, or who need to have that avenue opened up where perhaps it was never opened up before, they're going to find you because of the vibration that you're putting out there. So this is a time a really powerful time for vibration. So we think, oh, well, we're moving our businesses online. It's not just about moving them online. It's about making people have, helping people to have access to what it is that we're creating, the energy that we're creating when we do what we love to do best, because that's when we're shining, and that's when our beacon is sending out the most powerful energy waves into our global universe. So yes, get your hands in the dirt, play with the plants, and share that everything that you're doing around that with other people as much as you can, and keep it loose and relaxed. Okay. Anne Kristen is in Norway. So she's got two questions, and so I'll come back to the second one if I have time for it, but I'll deal with the first one. She says, "What can the guides tell me about the future in creative artistic work for myself? Or should I focus more on my healing work?" Well, I would say, given what we just heard about doing what you love to do it. And I think that healing is part of your creative artistic work. I think that when you're doing healing work, you get all the channels open for you. And as those channels open up, then so does your creative and artistic expression. So it's like one hand has the creative artistic work and the other hand has the healing work, and then we put them together, and that's when you do your best stuff. I also see something about the healing being an impetus for you to create things, and then when you put that creativity out in the world, that creates healing for people as they interact with what you've created. So some people you'll be able to do your healing work and actually get your energetic hands on them, and other people you're going to help to heal them with what you put out there that's creative in the world. So I'll come back through on your second question if we have time, and if we don't, I'll move it to next week. So next one here. This one is a 3-part question. So again, I'll take the first one because I assume if the first one you wrote down is probably the most important, and then I'll come back to it again. So this one is for Teddy. Is there any word about me making new life-changing, substantial connections, relationships? Yes, there is. You have quite a significant community, they're telling me, online. And they're saying use that community, reach out to them, share your process, share your things. Yep. What am I thinking about that? I wonder. Share that, because you're going to create a dialogue. Out of that dialogue will come the substantial relationship connections. So just keep putting yourself out there in whatever way you can, and then watch for what shows up, because it will be there's no such thing as coincidence, I've been saying for years, or rephrase coincidence as synchronicity. So this is one of those. It feels like what you want to be putting out there is verbal. I even more than writing it, I feel like I want to tell you to speak it out there. So recording it, doing live sessions, and getting them out, and even if they're just little ones, blips, thoughts, give them a name. They're telling me give them a name, maybe a blip, I don't know, like me with my pings, something that will engage people's imagination, and then get it out there. And I think you'll find your way as you start doing this, and it's important for you to hear yourself think. So we'll get having fun with that. And we've got Lucia and Brenda on here with us. Welcome. So, Rainey in London. It feels like a lot is changing. Where are we currently in this cycle emotionally? Well, the emotions are the energy. And so this virus, so now we come back to the piece about the virus. So I'm going to so your question is much bigger than you think it is, Rainey. it is indeed about a cycle. So I'm just going back to the original question here, which is about the vibrational molecular structure of the coronavirus. It actually has, and this is one of the things that's causing difficulties for all the people in the research communities. It has a shifting vibrational molecular structure, which is something that exists on the planet, but we didn't know it existed. We have not gone looking. So we take a snapshot of it and we think that that's what its molecular structure is. We haven't watched. No, that's not true. Some scientists have watched this. They have not managed to define it yet or get it out there in the journals. But it's shifting. I don't even know if they have equipment to be able to see or measure this yet. But it is shifting, and it shifts with the vibration of emotion on the planet. So it reacts to emotion, and therefore it will be slightly different in different locations. So the dominant emotion through all of this right now is fear, but there is a growing there's growing anger around it, depending, like especially in places like the US, and there's also a growing wave of love around this. The people who are figuring out that the only way to deal with this in the world is to love the world, love nature, love themselves, love one another. And that love has an immediate effect on the virus. And it sounds kind of hokey to say that you can heal this virus with love, but it's not that it heals it, it's that it alters it. So that molecular structure alters as it goes through different currents of I sound a little choppy here as I say this because this is news to me, and I'm trying to find the right words to express it. They're showing me it's like it's like an amorphous glob, and it moves, and it gets less dense, it gets more viscous, it gets less viscous, it changes color, the structure gets, when I say more and less dense, I mean that it's got more space between the molecules, and then less, and it's alive, but it's not an entity with a brain as such. It's one that has it has a consciousness that is reflecting the consciousness of what is around it. And so that means that it changes minute by minute. And that means that our consciousness, our awareness, our state of well-being is it is a dynamic part of the virus, is the best way that I can phrase it. So we may get more information about this, but they're sowing the seed about it, just for the start. So would it? Ruth asked, would it function any differently for individuals who resonate more in the fifth and multidimensional way? And the answer to that is yes. And it's still influenced by everything that's around you. So that impacts it as well. But if you were to be together with a whole group of people who are functioning this way, and Brenda, you would really resonate with this, then that creates an energy field of its own, and that affects the virus for over a greater geographical area, and with anybody who's connected to those individuals through heart connections, through emotional, those profound emotional ties. So I think that answers your question, Rainey, on the sort of big global level. And we've got about 5 minutes left, so I've got one more question here, and then I'll go back and see if I have time to pick up any of the second or third questions further up the list. So Crystal wants to know, I'm struggling to interpret my intuition right now regarding a recently reported missing friend. I'm receiving messages of a black void of emptiness where my calls to him are echoing, and he intermittently groans back. So that this feels like a definitely heavy-hearted situation, Crystal. So let me see what I can get here about Crystal, if you're on the line here, can you tell me this person's first name? That will help me to find the person. If you're here, I'll just wait a second and see if that comes up. Sometimes that helps me to find the person better. Yes, James. Okay, so let's find, yes, okay, I've got James. Yes. Yeah. So they're taking me up to the soul level for James, and they're saying that what he's going through at the moment, he's going through on behalf, it's a selfless act that he's going through to be of service to a large group of people who are being impacted by this. And so James wants you to know that. He also wants you to know that your presence there with him is very, very helpful. It's not that at the moment you can help him to be found, but your being with him right now is incredibly valuable. He can feel you there, and it's not that you have to babysit him 24 hours a day, but if you set your intention that he will have the emotional and spiritual help around him that he needs in order to move through this time, then that would be really valuable to him. And if you pop in and out when you think of him, that's also really valuable. The outcome is not determined yet. And he's saying that there isn't anything that you can do directly, but your presence is incredibly powerful. So this is, when the news anchors say, stay tuned for active developments, well, that's what's going on here. So if I get anything else about James, I will pass it on to you. But the reason that you're not getting more information when you're used to getting more information, Crystal, is that there isn't anything that you can do besides what you're already doing. And if they gave you more information, you might try to be doing something with it, which would really cause you a lot of frustration and make you feel guilty if you weren't able to do anything with it. So tune in to James's essence and send him love as you have been, and that is what you can do at the moment. Trust that if there's anything else you're supposed to be doing, you will pick that up intuitively, and then you should act on it. And if you need any confirmation around that, then just fire me off a message, and I'll just do a quick tune in and get a yes or a no for you to validate what you are already getting. Okay, always really tough on our hearts when somebody that we love has disappeared or is in distress of any kind, and we're not sure what we can do about it. It just makes our hearts bleed. So just a minute more. So let me see. There was somebody else here who had several questions. Anne had one. What other things can we expect to be revealed about hidden government energies in this time of Mother Earth's transformation? I'm going to save that one for next time, Anne, because I think it's bigger than what we can look at this time. And my guides are telling me that the timing would be better for it next week. Teddy, you asked, will my life get easier, have less stress around parenting and finances? Yes, indeed, it will. and you need to be playing in there. So stay in that playful energy and doing what you really love to be doing and sharing it verbally. They keep going like this and saying verbally. And yes, your artistic side would come out again. Don't expect yourself to be an artist. Just do things that feel good, that are creative. So if you feel like doodling on your shopping list, then doodle on your shopping list. That will make you feel good. Yeah, so Teddy's saying yes. All right, that's good. So that brings us to the end of our time for this week. I just wanted to share with you that I'm playing with who might be able to participate in my power circles, which is teaching people in a group of 6 people about how to use your intuition and learning through the group dynamics around that, how to use your intuition in groups as well. So if you're interested in that, please book an exploratory session with me free of charge. You can do that through the booking page on my website. If you know anybody who might like to participate in these, then you're in the group now, so feel free to invite other people to come into the group, and that will include them in what we're doing. And I also have my services. I've opened up the rate structure on them at the moment, so feel free to have a conversation with me about that if it feels like it's appropriate. You can still pay my regular rates if you are in a position to be able to do so, but if you can't, or if you're not sure that you can, or if you have something to offer in barter or whatever it is, please have a conversation with me about it. It's a learning experience and we need to use our intuition to do it, but I approach it playfully and I'm not going to get offended by anything. And if you decide after we've had the conversation that you don't want to do it at all, I'm not going to freak out about it. So this is, as I said before, this is a time for experimenting. So I thank all of you for being here with us today. It's been fabulous to have you here. I love it that this allows me to do what I love to do best. You're giving me an opportunity to play. So thank you for being here. I encourage all of you to play happily this week. And if you're moved to come back next Saturday at 1:30, same time, same place, unless I tell you that we're on a different platform, in which case I'll share that information within the group. So until next time, stay safe and have fun.